Guys, so in today's video we're going to talk about how to hit down on the golf ball and take your ball striking to a new level. Let's get stuck into it. The first thing that you have to do is when you go down the driving range is choose a target. So we'll have a target and I'll represent that with a line on the screen here. Now what we need to do is if we are going to try and hit down on the golf ball, the first thing that you guys need to understand is it is not acceptable in any way to swing the club to the right of that target. So what I mean is if I'm going to choose that target there and I make some practice swings where I'm swinging to the right of that target, that is not going to lend itself to hitting down on the golf ball. This red alignment stick here represents my target line, and this sort of tilted alignment stick here is going to represent what's known as our swing direction. I'm going to talk about this more in the video, but what I'm basically saying is if you are making a conscious effort to swing to the right for a right-handed golfer of your target, what you're effectively doing is tilting your swing shape this way. Now the problem with this is this isn't going to lend itself to hitting down on the ball. Actually, you can see it's quite the opposite. It's actually making us hit up on the golf ball. So what we need to do is if we want to hit down on the ball, we need to make sure our swing direction is neutral, or if anything, look, if I sort of move it slightly to the left, can you see the way that still allows me to strike down on the ball? So that's why it's so important hitting shots to get a real strong sense that you are swinging to the left of the target. Imagine I was going to throw a frisbee down the driving range. What would happen is I would turn my body and I would release the frisbee at the correct time to go in a straight line to my target. But if I was going to throw the frisbee towards you guys, my body and everything is moving to the left of you. Okay, as I'm moving to the left, I let go of it at the hopeful correct time, which sends the frisbee in your direction. The problem is, could you imagine if I was making some frisbee throws where I'm doing this, and then the problem is the chance of me releasing it to you without compensating by bending my arm is going to become a huge problem. It's exactly the same problem within the golf swing. If you make a conscious effort to swing the club to the right of the target, or shall we say if you're not making enough of an effort to rotate and swing to the left of the target, all that's going to end up happening is, well, you're going to get massively stuck and you're going to have to use your hands and arms. And when you have to kind of use your hands and arms and you start getting stuck, you obviously can't hit down on the ball. In fact, all you can do is hit up on the golf ball, and that's what we really don't want to do. Understand that for most golfers, you'll become fearful if you start encouraging rotation in the downswing, that you're not just going to end up swinging massively over the top. But the thing that you need to start educating yourself is that's where your wrists and your arms come into it, and they help you keep the club on plane. And this is often known as a shallowing move. If just for a moment we practice just a couple of moves around the arm, the first one is this hinge. So you can see as I allow my right wrist just to hinge here, the way that that has an effect on where the club is. And again, this type of motion is what we're going to need to avoid that over the top move. The other one is with the forearm itself. So you see the way that my forearm here is pointing more up towards the sky, and the more I allow this forearm to point up towards the sky with this hinging motion, can you see the way again this creates more of a shallowing? So in the downswing, the more you could hold on to those feelings of this forearm up to the sky and that wrist hinge, the more that it keeps the club behind the body. So as you can see here, see the way the club head, it's behind my body, and that's the feeling that we really want to encourage with that sense of rotation. Every time you go to the range, I want you to make a real conscious effort to feel like you're turning your body, so it almost feels like if you were to let go of the golf club itself, it would fly down towards the left side of the range, and make sure that you're not swinging the club massively to the right of it, because that will get you stuck. Whilst you're doing that, then you need to start playing a little bit around with feelings of keeping that forearm up to the sky as you hinge that wrist, because it's the rotation with that type of motion that is going to give you that ability to hit down on the golf ball, but also avoid swinging over the top or across the ball. And I promise you, you practice both of those feelings, you're going to start producing some really, really good results. So let me know how you're getting on, or where I am if you need me. See you soon.